So why does this lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy? You'll see it's because there's a feedback loop that's set up here. So we talked about the data coming in and data coming in from mental models to sense making. What we haven't yet talked about is that when we make sense of something, when we process something, the information, the influence goes this way as well. The way we build our mental models, our beliefs, our ideas is also through the process of sense making. So here you see what is set up is a feedback loop that is self-reinforcing. What does this mean? It means that initially, for some reason, we let in certain data, we make sense of it, we form a belief, an idea, a hypothesis about ourselves, about another person, about the world, it could be anything, an association, which then becomes a belief in our minds and gets ingrained into our mental models. Once that belief is formed, that belief, because of confirmation bias, starts influencing the way we are letting in more information to come into our sense-making process. So we only allow that information which will reinforce the belief, and thereby we strengthen that belief. So the initial belief that we started out with gets reinforced over time. Every time this loop works, it gets more and more reinforced. The stronger the belief is, the stronger the confirmation bias, the more evidence we let in to reinforce the belief. Now, I mean, this sounds like a theory, right? It sounds like a model of information process. It sounds very scientific. But let me give you an example, and let's take the example of advertisement, something that both fascinates me and also infuriates me. So for a long time I used to believe that I'm very immune to advertisements that, you know, make silly statements like, wear this perfume and you'll have great girls hanging around you, coming to you. And I was like, who's going to believe that? Who's ever going to believe a statement like that? But the people who are making these advertisements, they are not stupid. They're spending big money. They're spending big money to sell these associations to us. Why is it? Because they know something that a lot of us don't. They know the secret. They know the secret of the self-fulfilling prophecy. So what happens? They put a random association in your mind. Wear this perfume and you'll have beautiful girls around you. Might sound stupid, but they just put that in your mind. So it's somewhere there in your mental models, as a weak belief. Now, what did we see about the ability of even weak beliefs to trigger confirmation bias? Think back to the experiment that we just did. I did choose an experiment to show you confirmation bias where it was something that you were passionate about, like, you know, maybe a belief that everyone from my nationality is good or something like that. We chose a hypothesis that if a card has a vowel on one side, it has an even number on the other side. Something that most of us are very dispassionate about, just an association. But once that association was told to you, it was there as part of your mental models, confirmation bias kicked into action. That's exactly what happens. So the same example, wear this perfume and you will have beautiful girls around you, right? It's there in your mind. They just plant it through the initial advertisements. What happens? Confirmation bias kicks in, and you selectively start seeking out more and more information that validates this, that reinforces this, and over time the belief becomes powerful, and that belief drives your sense making and thereby your action. So the next time you walk into a shop and you see all the perfumes out there, you're making sense, you're deciding. Decision making is part of sense making, part of processing, and you automatically get tempted to go in favor of the belief that you already hold to be true. So this is how the loop of beliefs actually starts translating into our actions.